What's the best part? Here it is. Today's song of the day. Halo, Beyonce. So, today, alright, yesterday we solved for missing side lengths using trig. So today, I don't know why it says side lengths, but we're going to solve for missing angles. That's what today is all about. We're solving for the missing angles in a right triangle using SOHCAHTOA. All right, so what I want you to do, all right, so what, here we go. We're not going to do this part. We're not going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Find length at third side. Forget that. So let's just say we are given the triangle at the right. We know that the triangle has two side lengths of 27 and 38. How can we find the remaining third side? We know how to do that. Solving right triangle means solve for all three sides and all three angle measures. Okay? We can use inverse trig to find the angle measures. So anytime you see a question mark there, I want you to put an X. If there's an angle that has a question mark, I want you to put an X. All right? If you see an angle with a question mark, that is your reference angle. So I start here, and I go across. This is opposite. This is the hypotenuse. This is the adjacent. Remember our little friend here. So, ka, toa. All right. Well, if you look at our picture here, or how we labeled our triangle, I have O and A, which means I'm going to use tangent. So I always take a tangent trig function of an actual angle. My angle is X equals the ratio. The ratio is O over A, so 27 over 38. Now, to find a missing angle, okay, to find a missing angle, we're going to use the inverse trig function. And what that is, it's a button in your calculator, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. But what we're literally doing, you don't have to write this part in red. I'm going to take the inverse tangent of this side and of this side as well. So X will equal the tan inverse of 27 over 38. Now I'm going to plug this in to my calculator to find the measure of angle X. How will I do that? Great question. Let's go to our calculator. All right. So again, I'm going to really emphasize, make sure it's on degrees. If you did it once, it should be there permanently, but I just want to continue to emphasize that. Okay. To find tan inverse, I'm going to go second. Notice how you can see my keystrokes down here. Tangent. So to get the tan inverse like that. And then I'm going to hit 27 divided by 38. Again, it doesn't matter if you close your parentheses. I'm going to close it just because I hard math. Boom. There's our angle. Our angle is 35.39. Okay. It's best to do at least 2 decimal places. All right. And most of the time you will have decimal points or decimals on these answers. All right. So again, I hit second. I'm going to show you that again. Tan inverse, 27 divided by 38. When you're finding an angle measure, it's important that you realize we're using the inverse, because if I just did tangent of 27 over 38, I wouldn't get the same answer. And if you got something like this, that's how you know something went wrong. All right, so 35.39 degrees. So X equals, oh buckets, X equals 35.39 degrees. Make sure you're including degrees on your answers. Okay. Let's try another one. Maybe. Hold on a second. Something just went out. I'm going to pause hopefully for a second here. And we're back. So, anyway, if you look here, all right, find the value of the question mark, so you're set up. Again, question mark, I'm going to put an X. This is my reference angle. O, A, again, we're going to use tangent. So tangent of X equals 9 over 21. Now, let's play hypotheticals here. Let's say I hypothetically do not have a graphing calculator or one of these at home. All right, Google search it, scientific calculator online. I guarantee you'll find one. Let me pause and see if I can pull one up. All right, so I'm going to search online scientific calculator. Okay, and the one that comes up from Google usually works pretty well. All right, the only difference is actually, why don't you just use Desmos? The Desmos one is great. I've used this multiple times. It's very helpful. Holy buckets, how about it loads? There it is. All right, but you're going to have to go to find the inverse. I'm going to go to functions. And that comes up. Again, I'm going to start at main. I'm going to go to functions and hit tan inverse. And then I can do 9 divided by 29, I think it was. And press enter. Now, here, look, it's already in degrees. That's a beautiful thing. Oh, it's 9 divided by 21. So it's 23.19. Oh. That's another tangent. We're going to skip that one. Let's go here. All right. Now, sometimes in these problems, you're going to be given, okay, all 3 side lengths. And I'm going to ask you to find an angle. All right. Or I'm going to ask you to solve for the right triangle given all 3 of these side lengths. Okay. Well, if that's the case, again, put your X. All right. Label your sides. O, H, and A. And think about SOHCAHTOA, right? Well, I have all 3. So you can just pick whichever one you want. Some people have a favorite. Now, as you all know me. I don't play favorites. I'm just gonna pick sine for this one, just because the first one, it's not my favorite. Don't quote me on that. So I'm gonna say sine of X equals 68 over 85. Show your setup, people. All right, then I'm going to do the sine inverse. I'm going to use my graphing calculator here. Make sure I'm in degrees. Oh, I am. Perfect. Sine inverse of 68 divided by 85. Again, you get the inverse by hitting second sine. I got 53.13 degrees. If you use a different trig function, let's say you did cosine of 51 divided by 85, you would still get the same answer. All right, for this next one, I want you to pause the video, pick whichever trig function you want, and see if we get the same answer. Go for it. All right, I got 36.87 or 36.8698, 100, whatever. All right. Again, I chose cosine this time because I did sine the last one and tangent the one before that. You could have used sine, all right, or tangent, whichever one. You should still get the same answer, okay? If you're not, check your mode on your calculator. Go to the mode, make sure you're in degrees here, okay? Or go to your scientific calculator, make sure degree is selected. Look, it just went to radians. Oh, now back to degrees, okay? Here is just like, okay, use the appropriate inverse trig function to solve for the angle round to the nearest degree. All right, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, we don't need to do that. Here's some more practice, okay? What I want to do, let's do one more together, all right, just because math is cool and stuff. This is a lot of just examples, solving the value of x. Yeah. So I'm going to let's try K and L here. I'm going to call this X, all right. Boom. Straight across, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Okay, why don't you try this one? Try these two. I want you to try K, and I want you to try L here. Figure out which trig function you're going to use, and solve for the missing angle. Go. All right, here we go for letter K. I chose to use sine because I have O and H. If I have O and H, I look up at SOHCAHTOA, and holy buckets, is this gonna like do anything here? There we go. O and H. Oh, O and H means sine. Okay, remember using the inverse sign. Remember, make sure yours is in degrees. Second one, letter L. I used A and H, so I had cosine. C is A over H, and I got 41.41 degrees. This next problem here asks you to solve the right triangle. All right, to solve a right triangle, I need to find all 3 sides and all 3 angles. Well, fortunately for us, okay, we have an angle here. Well, there's one of the angles. All right, I want to find, let's find AC first. I'm going to call this X. This is also, since this is my reference angle here, this is going to be the O. This would be H, and this would be A. And again, anytime you have a worksheet or you're doing work on a page, all right, it's helpful to write this down just so I can see it, okay? I'm looking at, in this problem, if I want to solve for X, I'm going to look at O because that's the side that I want, and A because that's the side that I have. So this brings us back to yesterday's lesson. All right, in yesterday's lesson, we were given the angle we wanted to solve for a missing side. All right, today's lesson, we were given the sides I want to solve for the missing angle. Okay, but I chose this one to do a little bit of review. So I'm going to take tangent on my angle. Well, in this case, my angle is 28. That's equal to my ratio of X over 6. Since I'm solving for a missing side, I do not need to use the inverse. All I'm going to do is put this over 1 and cross multiply. All right, again, the only time you use the inverse is if I'm solving for an angle. Okay, if I have an angle, then I just do regular trig. So X equals 6 times the tangent of 28. 6 times tangent 28 equals 3.19. Wow. 3.19. Okay. So now my right triangle has 3.19. Okay, and I know this is 28. Well, you know the angles in a triangle have to add up to how many degrees? Oh, that's right, 180. So I could do 180 minus 90 minus 28 and get 62 for this angle here. All I need is my third side, my hypotenuse, which we could use trig, or I could use the Pythagorean theorem, call this, buckets, call this C, and say 3.9 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. Not all of us may get the same answer for C. We'll get around the same answer, but because of our rounding, it may be different. If you didn't put it as 3.19, maybe you put it as 3.2. You may get maybe a little bit different, but that's okay. You want to pick the answer that's closest to it if this were to come up on a quiz. So 3.19 squared plus 6 squared gives me 46.18 equals C squared. So square root of 46.18 is, C is about, remember the double squiggly is about 6.796. So our right triangle is solved because we have all three sides and all three angles. Wowee. That was fun. I want to remember something. Don't forget. Also, don't forget where this all started. Where did this all start? It all started with a couple circles, a nose, a mouth, some whiskers, 2 eyes, and a face with ears. And what do we have here? Remember our friend, the cat. Okay. It also started with a dog. Roof. Roof. There's my dog. You can't see it. It's one of those invisible dogs, but it says roof, roof. Don't you forget it. It also started with a rat. This is a Chicago rat. They're big. They're gross. They have long tails and stuff. All right. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know if you have any questions. That's all for today.